Hi, friend. In this episode of Nonprofit Courage Lab, we are talking about 8 habits to raise $1 million in the last 4 months of the year, September through December. Let's start. This is going to be a bit of a kick in the pants. You're welcome. First, start making calls, not excuses. Pick up the phone. Pick it up. Yes, step away from the laptop, step away from the computer. I know you got a lot of emails. I know you got a lot of stuff to do. The phone is where it's at. You don't need to schedule a call. Just pick up the phone. Start creating a dynamic with your donors where you are picking up the phone and calling them, and they will get used to it. One phone call can be the difference between a $10,000 gift, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 gift, or you could just keep doing what you're doing and stay behind your laptop and have all your emails ignored. Too close to home? Drop the excuses. They don't want to hear from me. Calling is an imposition. We need to be more successful first. We need to raise more money. We need to get more donors before we call this person. No one answers the phone anymore. You name it, I've heard it. Pick up the phone, build connections with people, and drop the excuses. You're going to need to combat all of the the reasons why you aren't picking up the phone and calling. And if you don't know how to do that, I encourage you to get into my program, Courage Lab. It takes courage to step out of your comfort zone to get different results. This leads me to my second habit, which is to build relationships. Step away from the to-do list, all of the busy work that we prioritize that feels productive. Busyness feels like forward motion when you might just be standing still. Stop adding things to your to-do list that are not actually raising money. Start getting to know people. Put time on your calendar to get to know your donors. Book time ahead in advance that you are going to get more meetings, you are going to pick up the phone and make time for it. Ask people why they give. Ask them how they first learned about you. Ask them why they continue to give after 5 years, after 15 years. Tap into genuine curiosity for who they are as human beings. Start really appreciating them for what they give to you, which they don't have to give you a dime, by the way. What you focus on grows. If you're focused on your to-do list and all of the tasks that you have to do that you know don't amount to money raised, you will have more of that. If you focus on building relationships with the donors you will have more donors because you will have stronger relationships with the folks who you've been trusted with their money, with their time, with their trust, and that's going to grow. Where you put your effort and your attention is what's going to grow. And I want you to have strong relationships with your donors. Start building relationships. Let go of the to-do list of items that is never ending, of all the stuff you got to get done that isn't related to revenue generation. If you don't know what to say, you can go to my website, julieordonez.com. I have a free 24-page donor scripts cheat sheet. If you haven't picked that up already, you need to do it yesterday. Go over there, julieordonez.com, ORDONEZ. It's free. You just sign up for my mailing list and you will have access to that. It's 24 pages of things I've actually said, questions that I asked to get to know donors, how I talk about non-liquid assets, how I ask a board member to donate. You name it, it's pretty much in there and it's free. The next habit of the 8 to raise $1 million in the last 4 months of the year is start making bold decisions. Commit. Don't create more bottlenecks. Don't create more, oh, let's ask this. It's great to get wise counsel, but sometimes gathering more advice slows us down. getting more people to weigh in, getting more feedback. The feedback that you need is to take action, try something out, experiment, and see how people respond. That's the feedback. You need feedback from taking action. Action precedes clarity. So if there's a decision to be made that's sitting in your inbox from your team, while that's happening, your donor is being asked by another charity to give a bigger gift over there. So start getting decisive, make decisions. And if it isn't working a week later, 2 weeks later, change it, pivot. Consider yourself a scientist and experimenting with different things rather than waiting until the conditions are perfect or until you've gathered a ton of information or everyone's been able to weigh in. You want to raise more money in the last 4 months of the year? Make decisions, be decisive, empower your team. Don't have them waiting on you for approval with stuff that they can handle. You can always give them feedback and coaching on the back end. Let people run with it. That's going to allow you to raise more money. The fourth habit is to start delegating. This is connected. Don't take on more. It's likely that you are not going to hit your goal of 1 million plus the last 4 months of the year because you're doing too much. And all the things you're doing, maybe they're not of the highest quality because you're taking on too many things. And one of the keys and solutions to that is to start delegating. Delegate to your board. Ask them to reach out to donors. Ask volunteers to give. Ask your team to take on things that maybe you've been weighing in on and you've been the final decision maker. Let people run with it. If you're hitting your goals and you're still working too much, you're involved in too many meetings and too many projects, it's not sustainable. That's not going to be your method of operating if you plan to grow. So it's time to empower and equip your team. It doesn't have to all be on your shoulders or, 70, 60% of it on your shoulders. It's time to delegate to your team, not necessarily take on more. Let your team and your volunteers and your board help you. Accept help. That's what I'm saying. I am saying ask for help and receive help. Huge habit. You have got to get better at this. The fifth habit is have conversations rather than making assumptions. Stop assuming that you know why donors give. Stop assuming that they can't give more. Stop assuming that they don't care as much as you or that they can't afford it. Do you know for certain? Are you making these assumptions based on what? That's what I always ask my clients. They say, oh, well, this person is going to do this, and that's probably the most they can do. Based on what? Well, they pledged this in 2022. And they told me then that was the most they could do. Okay, well, that was 2 years ago. Is everything the same in their business and their personal finances? Do you know for sure? Did they tell you out of their own mouths? Something that they said 12 plus months ago may not be the same case now. Stop carrying it with you in perpetuity into the future. Here's an idea. Instead, straight up ask. Straight up ask. Stop the guessing games. It takes so much energy. Stop assuming. This is part of why I see so many people are stressed because they make assumptions. We want the shortcut. We assume that things mean a certain thing and we don't know. We don't know what it means if they haven't responded to us. We don't know what it means. We should extend the benefit of the doubt, just like we would with our own team. And we would want people to extend the benefit of the doubt with us and not assume the worst, not assume that they don't care. Ouch. And instead, just ask, have conversations directly, clearly. Hey, are you planning to give this year? Do you plan to make an additional gift in the end of the year? What is your plan for your giving this year? You typically give in September. Are you planning to do that again? Straight up ask if you need to know. If someone says, hey, yeah, I'm going to donate. Amazing. Find out, how much are you planning to donate? I mean, I feel silly sometimes saying this stuff, but it is a revelation for so many of you. You assume and you just don't think you can ask. Give yourself the permission. This is your permission. Straight up ask. Stop making assumptions. You will raise more money. The sixth habit is to take ownership. Don't wait for people to step up. You step up and then they will. Donors step up when you do. Board members step up when you do. When you take ownership of the fact that your donor relationships and where people are giving and how much money you're raising isn't where you want it to be, then you're empowered to do something about it. What part, what role have you played in the results that you've got? And if you are expecting your board to give, it's time to schedule one-on-one conversations with all the board members who aren't giving. Leadership requires clear communication, clear expectations, tough conversations. Take ownership of the results or the lack of them and stop waiting for other people to step up. Stop waiting for other people to read your freaking mind. Have you ever worked for someone who they expected you to read their mind? I have. My hair was falling out. I wasn't sleeping well. I couldn't keep any weight on because my boss expected me to read their mind. It was extremely stressful. I was working so hard to try to please this person, and they wouldn't give me straight up feedback. And I was actually asking for it. Be clear and communicate what you need. Get real about it. Own the fact that you need to raise multi-millions. Own the fact that you need to raise more and level with people and stop waiting for them to read your mind. Have serious, tough conversations with people, and you're going to raise millions. The seventh habit is trust yourself. If you sense that you should ask someone for more, do it. If you sense that you should leave it alone, leave it alone. You have what it takes. You know your donors. If you sense that you don't know your donors and you need to spend more time getting to know them, do that. If you know that you aren't making bolder asks and you need to do it, do it. If there's something that you've been putting off, you've been waiting for, oh, we need to have this better or that better or these things in place before we can move forward with that. Inaction feeds anxiety. When we don't take action, that just adds fuel to the fire of anxiety in our minds and in our hearts. When we take action, that feeds confidence. We become more confident in ourselves, and that's what self-trust is confidence. Do you trust yourself? And the only way you can build that is by doing things that you said you were going to do, keeping promises to yourself. And then subconsciously, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do that because I've done it in the past. I'm going to ask that person for more money because I know the last time that I decided I was going to do that, I actually followed through. Your subconscious is like, oh yeah, who we are, Julie, we're the kind of people, I'm the kind of person who does what I say I'm going to do, even if it's a promise to myself, even if it's unspoken. Your subconscious knows. And inaction, anytime you break a promise, you're eroding your self-trust. So take action, even if it's small and you think it's insufficient, and you are telling yourself, I am trustworthy. I can be trusted to take action, even when I'm not sure, even when I'm unclear of the result. The outcome that I want isn't guaranteed. Start trusting yourself instead of second guessing. Well, should I ask? Should I not? Is it too soon? Is it too early? Find out. You will build confidence by taking action. Confidence doesn't precede action. You take action and then you build confidence. That's how it works. And the last one is ask. Ask for more. Start raising more money and stop stalling for time. Stop waiting for better circumstances. Stop waiting to build a stronger relationship. If you have a relationship and you wait, you're actually taking away from what you could raise. This is the season, the time of year where folks are making giving choices. And for some of your donors, you are their number one philanthropic priority. And the longer that you wait, you're giving other organizations in their philanthropic portfolio the opportunity to ask for more. So I want you to be in the best position that you can with your top donors. Find out now what they plan to do. Don't stall, don't wait for the better approach. Don't wait to have all your ducks in a row. If you need a plan, come to my training. It's August 27th and 28th. It's mapping out your major gifts strategy for the rest of the year, September through December. You will have clear projections walking away from that workshop on exactly how much you will be able to raise from your current base and what you need to bring in from new donors. And I'll walk you through my entire process that I do with my private clients. If that's something that you need support in, come to that. It's going to be really good. Stop stalling and start raising money. These 8 habits are what are going to allow you to raise $1 million plus from September through December. If you want to come to my training, it's best for organizations that are looking to raise at least $500,000 in individual giving from September through December. If that's you, if you have a goal at minimum of 500K, I encourage you to come. There's room for up to 40 teams. You can bring 3 people per organization. And it's great for executive directors, development directors, major gifts officers, for your team of fundraisers who are going to be making major gift asks. And that way you can work together on your projections, on your overall organizational goal in this training, and what role each of you will play, if you'll co-pilot any of the asks, how you can work together and collaborate as a team to exceed your fundraising goals. So if that's for you, go to julieordonez.com/training, and I will see you there. Thanks so much.